October 15, 1941, at 27,000 feet above Cologne, Germany, the frigid night air was broken only by the steady hum of engines as Major Ulrich Vogel, a highly decorated Nachtjagd night fighter pilot in the Luftwaffe, patrolled the skies in his Messerschmitt Bf-110. This aircraft was an apex predator of the darkness, equipped with Germany's most sophisticated radar technology, the Liechtenstein system, which provided an invisible electronic hand to guide him through the blackness. His mission was critical: intercept the incoming waves of Allied bombers, typically slow, heavy Lancasters or Halifaxes, before they could reach their industrial targets in the Rhineland. Suddenly, his radar screen registered a faint, flickering return, a contact that was too small, too fast, and too low to be a heavy bomber. Pushing his throttle forward, Vogel closed in confidently, but the blip vanished without explanation. Moments later, a devastating burst of cannon fire erupted from above and behind, tearing into his aircraft. As his crippled plane plunged earthward, Vogel realized he had been ambushed by a ghost, an enemy he never saw. The aircraft that defeated him was not built from precious aluminum, but was constructed almost entirely of wood, glue, and canvas. The de Havilland Mosquito, a machine the Germans would soon fear and scornfully call the wooden wonder. The Mosquito's origins lay in heresy and necessity. In the early days of World War II, Britain faced a critical shortage of aluminum, the metal essential for aircraft production. While the Air Ministry insisted that bombers must be heavy, heavily armed, and metal-built, de Havilland proposed a radical alternative: an unarmed two-man bomber made primarily of wood. The idea was dismissed as ridiculous, a throwback to the flimsy biplanes of World War I. But chief designer Geoffrey de Havilland argued that a stressed skin plywood monocoque construction could achieve a superior strength-to-weight ratio compared to early aluminum designs. By eliminating defensive turrets and heavy armor, and by utilizing abundant wood, the aircraft could be lightweight, fast, and inexpensive to produce. The key to this engineering marvel was monocoque construction. The fuselage was molded in two halves from thin birch plywood skins, glued around a lightweight balsa wood core, creating a structure that was incredibly strong, rigid, and resilient. This method allowed for a smooth aerodynamic surface with minimal rivets or joints, enhancing both speed and stealth. The construction process resembled furniture making more than traditional aircraft assembly, enabling decentralized production in small workshops and cabinet-making facilities that did not compete for specialized metalworkers. Despite fierce political resistance, senior officers argued that any aircraft operating over enemy territory must be heavily armed. De Havilland championed a revolutionary philosophy: speed is its own defense. If a plane could fly fast enough, it wouldn't need guns or armor. It could simply outpace threats. This vision eventually won over key proponents, and the Mosquito was initially approved as a fast reconnaissance aircraft. This forced focus on speed and lightness proved to be a blessing, as the design maximized the performance of its two powerful Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. The resulting aircraft achieved speeds exceeding 400 miles per hour, outpacing any operational Luftwaffe fighter during its early deployment. The use of wood also granted the Mosquito a low radar cross-section, as wood absorbs radar energy more effectively than metal. To German radar operators, the Mosquito appeared as a faint, flickering return, a contact that was too small, too fast, and too low to be a heavy bomber. Crucially, the Mosquito's success relied on Canada's vast forestry resources and woodworking industry. Canadian factories from Montreal to Toronto were retooled to laminate birch plywood and balsa wood, decentralizing production and solving Britain's aluminum shortage. This wooden oddity became the Allies' most versatile and deadly multi-role aircraft. By mid-1942, the Mosquito had transitioned from theory to reality, forcing the Luftwaffe to rethink its air defense doctrine. Its speed was not just a statistic, but a weapon. In a straight dash, it could outrun even the formidable Focke-Wulf FW-190. Initially deployed for high-altitude photo reconnaissance, the Mosquito flew deep over Germany and occupied Europe, capturing vital intelligence. When enemy fighters scrambled to intercept, pilots simply pushed the throttle and flew away, completing missions without a single defensive weapon. The Germans responded with frustration. Luftwaffe pilots accustomed to engaging heavily armored bombers found themselves chasing an enemy that registered weakly on radar and vanished at high speeds. The Mosquito was dubbed the Scourge of the Skies, and its presence forced the diversion of scarce German resources. Its versatility led to rapid adaptations. As a fast bomber, it carried up to 2,000 pounds of bombs for precision raids on high-value targets. As a maritime strike aircraft, it featured 4 20mm cannons and 4 .303 machine guns for anti-shipping and ground attack missions. And as a night fighter, it became the deadliest hunter in the darkness. Equipped with airborne intercept radar, Mosquito night fighter squadrons systematically ambushed German night fighters over their own territory. The Mosquito's wooden frame and quiet engines made it a phantom, often undetectable until it was too late. By late 1943, the Mosquito had become a strategic nightmare for German high command. Its low radar cross-section allowed it to fly undetected over heavily defended areas, enabling surgical precision bombing missions. Operations like Jericho, the MEN's prison raid, saw Mosquitoes flying at treetop level to breach prison walls and free resistance fires with pinpoint accuracy. Similarly, raids on Gestapo headquarters in Oslo and Copenhagen demonstrated the aircraft's audacity and dominance. The term Mosquito panic entered German air defense lexicon, reflecting the psychological toll on pilots and commanders. Meanwhile, Canadian production simplified and streamlined the design, making the Mosquito one of the easiest aircraft to repair in the field. Damage that would require specialized welding on metal planes could often be patched with wood and glue by skilled carpenters. By war's end, the Mosquito had flown over 39,000 sorties with remarkably low losses. However, its wooden construction posed preservation challenges, and many airframes were scrapped as jet-age technology emerged. Despite this, the Mosquito's legacy endured. It pioneered passive stealth technology, demonstrating the tactical advantage of a small radar signature decades before modern stealth aircraft. It also redefined the multi-role concept, serving as a fighter, bomber, reconnaissance plane, and pathfinder in one adaptable airframe. For pilots, flying the Mosquito was an exhilarating experience, a testament to speed, agility, and invincibility. Today, restored Mosquitoes stand as symbols of Allied ingenuity, reminding the world that breakthroughs often lie beyond conventional boundaries. The wooden wonder remains a shining example of how simplicity, innovation, and courage can triumph over overwhelming odds.